Step into the unknown with the shadow frequency and your host, Matt Wilson, as he takes you where the shadows hum.
Welcome to the Shadow Frequency, episode 100, where we dive into the chilling corners of the paranormal. I'm Juniper, your producer, and this time we're unraveling a tale that's haunted the small town of Enfield, Illinois, since April 1973. The Enfield horror, a creature so bizarre, with 3 legs and glowing pink eyes, it defies explanation and lingers in cryptozoological lore. Matt, this one's got my skin crawling already. What's the vibe you're feeling for this milestone episode?
Oh, Juniper, this one's a proper nightmare fuel. The Enfield horror is like something ripped from a fever dream. Slimy, otherworldly, and just wrong. I'm pumped to dig into this for episode 100. You ready to get spooky with me?
Born ready, Matt. Take us into the shadows and tell us about this 3-legged terror. Over to you in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome, Shadow Frequency listeners, to episode 100, where we're plunging into the eerie saga of the Enfield horror. Picture this. It's April 25th, 1973, in Enfield, Illinois. A quiet town where nothing much happens, until the night something unspeakable crawls out of the darkness. This isn't your average cryptid tale. The Enfield horror is a creature so grotesque, so alien, it's burned itself into the minds of those who saw it, and its mystery still claws at the edges of our reality. It all began around 9 p.m. when 10-year-old Greg Garrett was playing in his backyard. The air was chilly, the stars sharp overhead, when Greg felt the ground shift beneath him. He looked down to see a creature, 4 to 5 feet tall, gray, slimy skin glistening like it didn't belong in this world. 3 legs, each ending in clawed foot-like appendages, stamped the earth. Its 2 short arms, tipped with claws, twitched unnaturally. But the worst part? Its eyes. Huge, pink, glowing like twin flashlights, staring right through him. The thing attacked, stomping on Greg's feet, shredding his tennis shoes. He ran, screaming, into his house, the creature's presence lingering like a curse. Just a half hour later, Greg's neighbor, Henry McDaniel, a war veteran, heard scratching at his front door. His kids, Lil and Henry Jr., were already spooked, babbling about something trying to get in. Thinking it might be a stray dog, Henry grabbed a flashlight and his .22 pistol. When he opened the door, he froze. There it was, between 2 rose bushes. The same creature Greg described. 3 legs, a squat body, short arms, and those unholy pink eyes. It hissed like a wildcat, a sound that cut through the wind. Henry fired, hitting it at least once, but the thing didn't flinch. It bounded away, covering 50 to 75 feet in 3 leaps, vanishing into the night along the L&N Railroad tracks. The police were called, and Illinois state troopers found fresh scratches on the McDaniels' siding and bizarre footprints, dog-like, but with 6 toe pads and 1 track smaller, as if from a 3rd uneven leg. This wasn't a bear or a dog. This was something else, something that didn't fit in our world. By April 27th, the story hit the papers, and Enfield was buzzing with fear. Locals whispered about the Devil's Kitchen, a cursed stretch of land steeped in Native American lore of evil spirits. Some said the horror was a demon, others an alien lost from its ship. UFO sightings were reported that same week, fueling the dread that something extraterrestrial was stalking Enfield. On May 6, Henry saw it again at 3 a.m., padding across the railroad tracks, unhurried as if taunting him. Later that day, Rick Rainbow, a radio news director from Kokomo, Indiana, and 3 friends spotted a gray, stooped figure near an abandoned house close to McDaniel's property. It moved with unnatural speed. shrieking a banshee-like cry that Rainbow recorded on tape. A sound so haunting it chilled even seasoned cryptozoologist Loren Coleman, who investigated the case. Coleman himself heard the creature's wail while combing the area, describing it as bewildering and unlike anything earthly. The Enfield horror wasn't just a monster, it was a violation of reality, a thing that shouldn't exist but did, leaving claw marks and terror in its wake. Its brief reign of fear in 1973 feels like a tear in the fabric of our world, letting something incomprehensible slip through. Juniper, this one's got me checking my doors at night. What's your take so far?
Matt, I'm legit rattled. Those pink eyes, that hiss, it's like the Enfield horror crawled out of some cosmic abyss. I'm dying to know more about what it could be. Keep us in the dark, Matt. Take us deeper.
Oh, we're going deeper, Juniper. Stay tuned, listeners, after the break for more on this unearthly terror.
Wow, listeners, the Enfield horror is giving me chills. Can you imagine opening your door to those glowing pink eyes? It's the kind of story that makes you wonder what's lurking just beyond the shadows. We're only halfway through, and Matt's got more to unravel about this three-legged nightmare. If you're loving the Shadow Frequency, please like and subscribe, and follow us on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and all major podcast directories. Visit our new website at shadowfrequencypodcast.com to listen to all of our episodes and leave a voicemail telling us where you're listening from. We'll feature it in an upcoming episode. And you can check out our new Shadow blog with companion articles for each episode. If you want to support us, you can buy us a coffee on the site. Now let's dive into the mailbag where we share your thoughts. Stay with me here while I hit the button.
It's time for the Shadow Frequency mailbag.
All right, folks, it's time for the mailbag. We got a great message here from Kim in Indianapolis who wrote to us at shadowpodcast@protonmail.com. She says she just found this on TikTok and loves it. The Shadow Frequency is my new obsession. Says, keep the creepy stories coming. Thanks, Kim. We're thrilled that you're hooked. And if you'd like to share your thoughts, you can drop us a line at shadowpodcast@protonmail.com or hit us up on social media. Matt, back to you for more of that Enfield horror madness.
Welcome back, Shadow Frequency listeners, to the second half of episode 100, where we're still gripped by the Enfield horror's eerie shadow. This three-legged, pink-eyed entity didn't just terrify Enfield, Illinois. In April of 1973, it sparked a frenzy that drew monster hunters, reporters, and cryptozoologists like Loren Coleman to this small town. But what was it? And why did it vanish as quickly as it appeared? Let's dive back into the paranormal fog. The Enfield horror's brief rampage left behind more than just fear. Locals reported physical evidence, claw marks on Henry McDaniel's house, those bizarre three-toed footprints, and Rick Rainbow's chilling audio recording of the creature's shriek. Coleman, who wrote about the case in the July 1974 issue of Fate magazine, speculated it might be a phantom kangaroo or a devil monkey, tying it to earlier sightings in nearby Mount Vernon from 1941 to 1942. Back then, a leaping baboon-like beast was blamed for animal mutilations, able to jump 20 to 40 feet in a single bound. Could the Enfield horror be the same entity, awakening every few decades to haunt the Devil's Kitchen? Some witnesses, including Henry McDaniel, leaned into the extraterrestrial angle. If they find it, he told reporters, they won't find just one, and they won't be from this planet, I can tell you that. The timing of UFO sightings in Enfield that April only deepened the theory that the horror was an alien scout, perhaps stranded or surveying our world. Others whispered of demonic origins, pointing to the region's cursed reputation. Native Americans' legends spoke of evil spirits prowling these lands, and the horror's unnatural form, 3 legs, slimy skin, glowing eyes, felt like something summoned from a darker realm. But not everyone was convinced of the paranormal. In 1978, researchers at Western Illinois University, led by David L. Miller, published a study suggesting the Enfield horror was a case of social contagion. They argued that only 3 first-hand witnesses, Greg Garrett, Henry McDaniel, and Rick Rainbow's group, actually saw the creature, and local gossip and media hype exaggerated the story into a town-wide panic. They proposed it could have been a misidentified animal, like a large dog with mange or even an escaped kangaroo, whose tails might be mistaken for a third leg in the dark. Henry, who'd owned a pet kangaroo during his military service in Australia, insisted it wasn't that, but the theory lingers. Whether it was an alien, a demon, or a trick of the mind, the Enfield horror remains a riddle wrapped in a shadow. No sightings have been reported since 1973, but the lack of recent developments only adds to its mystique. Is it slumbering in some forgotten corner of the Devil's Kitchen, waiting to return? Or was it a fleeting glimpse of something beyond our understanding? The truth, listeners, is out there, scratching at the door of reality. Juniper, this one's got me wondering what else might be lurking in Illinois. What's your final thought?
Matt, I'm half expecting to see those pink eyes in my nightmares tonight. The Enfield horror feels like it's still out there watching. Let's wrap it up, Matt.
All right, Juniper, let's send our listeners off into the night. Stay spooky, people.
And that's a wrap on episode 100 of The Shadow Frequency, where Matt took us deep into the chilling mystery of the Enfield horror, a 3-legged pink-eyed terror that haunted Enfield, Illinois in 1973. From Greg Garrett's backyard attack to Henry McDaniel's eerie encounters, this cryptid left a mark that still lingers in cryptozoological lore. You can head to our website, shadowfrequencypodcast.com, to catch all of our episodes. Read our Shadow blog. There'll be an article about this episode there. You can leave a voicemail or buy us a coffee and help keep the creepy coming. Thank you for joining us in the shadows, listeners. Until next time, stay curious and keep your flashlight close. Good night, shadow seekers.
This episode was produced with a commitment to exploring the unexplained while grounding our discussion in documented discoveries. All interpretations are speculative and intended for entertainment purposes.